Hey, welcome to Beyond the Barbie, Powerhouse Paper Dolls. I'm Jessica Brown, Mrs. Colorado Universal 2021. This is my interview series that finds the inspiration behind the inspirational women. Today I'm talking with my sponsors from ColorUp CBD. They are responsible for the glowing skin that I am so proud to sport. Shauna, I'm going to start with you. Would you please introduce yourself and your role at the company?
Absolutely. I'm Shauna. I am the COO and one of the co-founders of ColorUp, and I am also a licensed massage therapist here at ColorUp.
Awesome. The sound is a little down on my end, so if you could speak up a little bit when we're back on you. Emily, to you next. Please introduce yourself and tell us your role at ColorUp.
Hey, my name is Emily Davis. I'm the president of education at ColorUp, and so excited to be here.
Wonderful. And last but not least, Marrana, to you.
I am Marrana Davis. No relation, but it would be awesome if we were. And I am the president of account partnerships here at ColorUp.
And how did the three of you get together on this business venture?
Well, Shauna and I actually met in a couple of years ago as I was practicing my lash extension certification on her. And luckily I was so slow, it took me forever to do a set of lashes. So we had a lot of time to chat and get to know each other and became fast friends over our shared love of animals, holistic wellness, all of the things, and we've been very close ever since. And then Marrana, I'll let you talk about how you came in.
I actually took a class that Shauna and Will and Bryce taught, CBD 101, at the same school that Emily and Shauna met at, and immediately fell in love, and the products work so well for my dog that I jumped in and said, someday I will work with you, and here I am.
So that's how you guys originally started, was from the dog side of it, correct? Shauna, you want to tell me about that?
Absolutely. Yes. Bryce, Will, and I were a part of the cannabis industry many years ago, still are, but one of our dogs, bulldog named Callie, got sick during the time that we were all working in the industry, and we started growing medicine for her and started making our own products to try to treat her when she got sick with a series of illnesses leading up to a cancer diagnosis. And the stuff that we were making was helping her so much, from everything from her hips and rashes that she was having, as well as like tremors she was having in her head. And it was just helping with everything, all the way down the line to helping with reduction of tumors that she was having from her cancer diagnosis. So we realized when this was happening, the dogs can't really fall victim to the placebo effect. And so if they're experiencing something and it's working, then it's definitely working. So we were like, okay, we got to make this available to everybody.
Well, how did you then make the leap into skincare?
So I was in massage school during all of this, and when the product started working internally and on the dogs, and then we started taking them medicinally, I was like, hey, can you guys make us, Bryce and Will, my business partners, make some products for massage? And so we started doing that and moved into the massage side and body care. And I was the school where I was doing my massage program also has an aesthetics program. And the owner of the school, Hillary, is a good friend of mine, and Will was kind of looking into some basic cleansers and moisturizers and things like that for the skin, but she really asked if we could come up with a full line for her to be able to use in the program, and we were like, yes, challenge accepted, let's do this.
Wow, that's incredible that that's not where you started out. That wasn't your original goal. I mean, I turned 40 in quarantine, and I have never had such good skin. It is clear and shiny. And as I was saying to Amber in the earlier interview, working with people who come from such a good place and who have such good intention behind their work, and it's reflected in the products, of course. But I just feel like working with you guys and using these products, I've been able to put the kind of care into my self-care that I really just hadn't before. And it's just this self-love that that really comes from being mindful about what you use and who you associate with. So I'm so honored to be working with you guys personally and professionally. And you guys are linked to Melissa Birmingham, was the interview right before you, because she describes herself as unsinkable. Who wants to tell me why you guys are unsinkable? Marrana, how about you?
Wow. I think that might be better answered by Shauna.
Shauna?
Sure. I would say that we are unsinkable because there has been a lot of things thrown at us, obstacles, mountains, as far as being in the cannabis industry and bringing CBD to the forefront of a more medicinal, holistic healthcare and lifestyle. And even being in the skincare industry, there's just so much that comes at you that could take you down at any point, truly. I mean, even as far as being able to process our payments and things like that, even though we are from hemp and do CBD, there was a long time confusion with that and marijuana. And so even hemp companies couldn't use processing systems or pay to do anything on social media or pay to do anything really. So we really just kept pushing through, and all of that is because we really want to bring clean, natural, cruelty-free products to everybody and make them available to everyone. And our passion for that and our dedication to doing that definitely kept our boat floating this whole time. I mean, there were times where there were definitely bombs thrown at the boat that could have taken us down at any minute, and we just were like, no way, we're not going to do it. Even with quarantine and COVID coming into the world and all of that, it was a time where we thought, what do we do? But we realized we're an essential business. People need their skincare. They need their natural, clean skincare. They need internal products that are going to help them with their immune system and all of that. And so we just keep on going, all of us. We grab it.
And tell me again, how long you've been around? How long have you been in business?
We created our company and started doing education and everything in February of 2015. So it's been going on 6 years now.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah.
Well, and I'd like to know who has influenced you, who has been the inspiration behind each of you. And I'd like to hear from each of you. So Emily, let's start with you. Who's inspired you?
I have to say my mom. She's a naturopathic doctor, and I grew up around holistic healing, and I really feel that that's what's brought me to where I am today with my practice and with my position in ColorUp. I'm just very focused on our ability to self-heal with the assistance of plant medicine.
Oh, that's great. And is your mom still around? Is she still involved in watching you progress through your business?
She is my most faithful #1 client. So she's always been getting treatments, and she loves the ColorUp products, which is saying a lot because she's the pickiest person I have met. And yeah, she's here, and she's excited and proud and all of the things.
I tell you, I don't know if I'd say I'm picky. I just hate doing it. I hate washing my face. And so I just never have. I've always had good skin. And so I've been able to be lazy. And then it caught up with me because I just didn't have good habits. And that you can only do that for so long. And I see such instant results from ColorUp products. It makes it a lot easier to do. You know, when you have to use a product for like 8 weeks to see any change, it's a lot harder to stick to it. But when I can put it on and my skin plumps up right away, that instant gratification goes a long way with me. So, what about you, Marrana? Who has inspired you?
You know, you asked me this a while ago, and I had so many different answers and so many different people, but I have to jump on the bandwagon with Emily. My mom has been the same. She is one of my biggest supporters no matter what I decide to do, be it become a massage therapist, go to aesthetic school, go to herbalism school, get a new dog, all of it. She is just one of my biggest supporters. And she also, like Emily's mom, was into natural health care and holistic health care from the time I was little. And so, you know, it just kind of feels like a natural progression as to where my life is leading, that also led me to meet, you know, these amazing ColorUp tribe. So I definitely will stick with my mom as my final answer, including all the rest of the amazing women in the world, but definitely my mom.
So you both grew up with real natural remedies in the home. I guess that would make sense. What about you, Shauna? Who has influenced or inspired you?
So I have to definitely touch on my mom because she has been the same for me. Absolutely. Always supportive, always by my side, always pushing me. But I will say that Callie was a real inspiration for me, especially with this part of my life. When she was sick, she just taught me so much. She taught me how to find peace within my heart so that I could hold space and peace for her. She taught me to just keep on fighting and for what we believed in. And when she did pass away, I promised her that her name would never go in vain and that we would always do this work and bring healing to animals and people so that way we can make a difference in the world. So while I love my mother and my father too, who have always been such an inspiration for me, definitely I would say in the space I'm in my life right now, Callie really inspired me a lot to be
Well,
here.
and it does change. I mean, at different times we've been, even if it's by the same person, I find that I'm influenced by my mother in different ways at different times. And I was just recently asked that question about who's inspired me. And what came to mind was I love Facebook memories. I love how they pop up. And one of the things that popped up was I was at nationals with some little girls I was coaching. And I was talking about how I helped some girl overcome stage fright. And it was just this really nice experience that I had had. But as I'm listening to this video, it's just my mother's words and my mother's tenderness, and I hear my mom coming out of me at different times in different ways, and that makes me feel pride in a way that my own stuff can't, like that I'm actually emulating this woman. And I'm noticing that in this interview series, these commonalities that all these women that I find so influential and inspiring, we all have these moms that we're like, these are really kick-ass moms. And that seems to be a pretty strong theme for us. Okay, something silly. Who has a celebrity crush that you'll admit to? All right, Marrana.
We went with Jason Momoa, or I went with Jason Momoa because he just seems so mischievous and fun and like a really amazing person just to watch.
Okay, now let me ask, what are your feelings on The Rock? Because I feel like The Rock was the original Momoa.
He would come in a very close second.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
I thought so.
I would give him a close second. That's
well done. Because they're both these like big burly
it.
guys that sit and have tea parties with their little girls,
Yeah. That's a really endearing quality. Even though I don't have kids, it's just precious.
Well, but you have dogs. It's that same kind of tenderness and that caring for small creatures.
Absolutely.
And Emily, let's talk about your celebrity crush because I love the story behind it.
I have so many, but I'm currently crushing on Zac Efron. He just came out with this awesome show on Netflix called Down to Earth, where him and his co-star of the show, Darren Olin, go across the world, just bringing light to different issues, whether they are in Puerto Rico, talking about how they still don't have power in many areas of Puerto Rico, and talking about how this is all, these natural disasters are due to climate change, and talking about what we can do to change that and change the world. So aside from being totally cute, and I loved him when I was 17 and still at 34, that show I was like, wow, you are much more than a pretty face.
He's aging well, and when they show a depth like that, especially since all of us are so motivated by how we want to affect the world and how we want to make people's lives genuinely better through our lines of work, to see cute boys doing the same. Yeah, that's the package. That's the same thing with, big guy doing tea parties. Right. All right, last question before we talk about your legacies. I would like to know, if you could travel anywhere, where would you go? And Shauna, we'll start with you.
I would go to Italy. Crazy time to say that, but definitely Italy. It's where my grandparents and great-grandparents are from, and I have not made my way there yet, so I would love to go there and to see all the different places that my family has lived and what they've done, and definitely there.
Well, and Venice looked so clean after quarantine. So
Oh, I know.
I've been dying to go. We still have some family in northern Italy that my mother actually tracked down, but I haven't been anywhere in Europe. So I'm really looking forward to the world getting its act together so I can go places.
Here, let's go together.
Yes, girl trip to Italy. Absolutely. Marrana, how about you? Where would you go?
You know, I'm still non-committal on that because there's so many different places that I want to go. We're hoping to have a trip next year for our 180-year birthday. So I will turn 50, my husband's 60, and my mom's 70, to Ireland and Scotland. So I've been to Ireland, but not Scotland. So I'm excited to do a little of both because I love them. So we'll go with that one for now. But there's so much of the world I just want to.
That's how I've always been. I always had so many places I wanted to go. I just felt paralyzed by it. Like when I was younger, there were so many jobs that I wanted, so many career paths. I just felt almost paralyzed. Like I couldn't choose one because then that meant that I couldn't do all the others. And so I had to kind of lay them out chronologically, like, okay, what do I need youth for, right? So that's why I started with like the pro dance stuff and let's do that until the body doesn't cooperate. And then I just kind of laid them in order. So I'm going to end up, you know, being a writer sitting on a beach somewhere with my little typewriter. Same thing with travel. My list is so long. It's just throw a dart at this point. There's so many places.
Right. I want to put a nice big map on this wall and
Yes.
just start ticking places off because the world is such an
Me too.
amazing place.
Me too. Emily, how about you? Where would you go?
I agree with that. There's so many places I want to see, but one place I have not been is to Bali, Thailand. I'm really into that area of the world right now and definitely need to go hit up some spas there for sure.
Oh man, I have been dying to go, and I just found out that Mrs. Universal is no longer going to be at Bali because of COVID. It has been moved to Thailand.
Ooh.
Which I'm still very excited for. Like I said, there's so many places. I'm just thrilled. It's gorgeous either way. It almost seems like a lateral move for me because they're both places that I really wanted to go, but it's going to be in Phuket, Thailand, which makes me giggle. So I think it's maybe a slightly upward move. Okay, legacy. What do you want to leave behind? What do you want to be known for? And Shauna, we'll start off with you.
Right, mine always stays the same. At the end of the day, and before I die, I want to end animal cruelty in our country and in our world. And I want to do that by way of educating the people and teaching them how to have relationships with animals and with our planet. And a big part of that is all of our products, every ingredient, every single thing that we do is cruelty free. And I really think that if we all start thinking about how we're affecting the animals and our planet, that will also help with human suffering and human cruelty. So that is someday before I die, that'll be it. No more animal cruelty. There will be penalties. There will be, this won't even be a thing because we'll all be so good and so caring and so loving.
Fully support it.
Yep, that we won't have to do that anymore.
That's great. That is great. Well, and your business is already so in line with that. So you were definitely working towards that already. Emily, how about you? What do you want your legacy to be?
I also love animals so much. They are my heart. However, my legacy, I would say, what I work for, what my work is in, is really helping to educate people that they have the ability to heal themselves. I feel that if everyone were aware of that, the world would truly be a better place and our planet would be cleaner, happier, animals would be happier. It would be wonderful. So.
That'd be a great message to just implant in everyone's brain. It would truly change the world. Marrana, how about you? What do you want to be known for?
Well, of course, I love the animals. How can you not? They just make you smile and make you so happy. And they're such special little beings, or big beings, depending on which ones you're talking about. I would have to say that as a legacy, I would want to leave, be able to support people in following their passions and their dreams and helping make the world a better place. Just being that support person that can really help them see their potential and help them get past their blocks and move forward, so that when we have happier, healthier people, we have a happier, healthier world.
That's absolutely true. And you guys are all following your own goals for yourselves, and you're certainly playing that role in my life. So thank you so much for joining me today and for all of your support. I feel so fortunate to have you as part of my tribe. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We're so happy to have you as a part of our tribe too.
Yes.
Thank you. And that's the end of today's Powerhouse Paper Dolls. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.